Hi everyone. It is John Seymour, a serial entrepreneur here, coming at you. Well, I'm going to say this evening, but it's a little bit after the cross of Wednesday morning here at just almost 10 to 1 in the morning a.m. And had a lot going on today, so that's why this is getting out just before I get to bed. We're talking about something very interesting, but I want to first thank all of the many people that are new to our channel today. You'll notice there's a QR code in the top right. Scan that QR code, and that'll direct you over to my link tree. If you don't know what that is, you can just go to Believe Me, just like my hat, Believe, the word me, M-E, Achieve, ACHIEVE.com, and to learn lots more about me and all the free content that I produce. So I'm sure you'll enjoy that. If you are coming back, well, welcome back, my friends, colleagues, and associates. It's so great to have you here, and thanks for being a loyal supporter for all these years. And also, I want to thank you for your tips, for your inspirations, for things that you want to see on the IFYL channel. So thanks so much for being here, and hopefully some of my new people will become valid, great, loyal subscribers just like you guys are. So what are we talking about tonight? Well, that's a great question. We are talking about a topic that I think is pretty important. And that topic, ladies and gentlemen, is, you got it, understanding how and why to delegate. So delegation is a skill, right, that we have to master. And when we learn to delegate, we probably are less stressed. Other people want to get to know us a little bit more. And so these are lots of reasons that delegation is very, very important. And so it can help us to become a better version of ourselves. And so how is it that you would want to delegate, right? Think about that for a moment. Think about what it means to delegate, okay? And I know that's crazy, but it's the truth. Thinking about delegating is something that can really put you into a different frame of mind. That's right, I said a different frame of mind. And so when you delegate, the best way to think about delegation is a way to take a step back, be able to make sure whatever needs to get done gets done, but you can actually focus on other things and not have to deal with all those trivial tasks, right? Things that you don't want to deal with on a daily basis, right? Thinking about delegation, whether you're delegating tasks, you can start delegating to your family at a very young age that they are. Let's say maybe you want to start having them do chores around the house. Well, when they're, I'm going to say probably in, just after, let's say maybe third, fourth grade, probably start giving them some tasks to do around the home, right? Emptying the trash, taking in the trash. And there's lots of things that you can get them to do. Maybe you can help them set the table for dinner. So there's delegating. Now, this kind of delegating is a little bit different than what you would think of because it's not typical delegating, but it still is. And you might say, well, John, it's so easy to set the table. I get how easy it is to set the table. But it's not about setting the table. It's the fact that a parent or a guardian has now put that responsibility on you. And by doing that, you want to, number one, maybe you're doing it for an allowance, or maybe you're doing it because you want to impress your mom or your dad or your, family or friends. And so when you do that, next time they're going to be really happy with you, but they're also going to give you something else. Maybe it's more allowance, maybe it's more responsibilities. So delegation is the key to, I'm going to call it the pathway of opening up potential to gaining more responsibility, to gaining more knowledge, right? So when something gets delegated, you have freed yourself up, but you've also helped somebody else become a better version of themselves because they may have not known what delegation is, and they might have not known how to do that task. And now that you've given them the opportunity, they're going to be pretty interested in wanting to help you. Now, when we think about delegating, let's think about that for a moment. Pardon me. For let's say you were a scout and you want to delegate certain tasks to younger scouts. Maybe it could be KP, kitchen patrol. It could be helping set up tents. It could be getting firewood. So you delegate these tasks out in the unit, right? So the patrol leader is typically the one that would delegate the tasks out to people that were under him. And then if things didn't get done properly, guess who would be taking the blame or getting the fire in their face? Yes, the patrol leader. So there's a lot of potential responsibility with a patrol leader. But if he or she doesn't pick the right people, and guess what happens? Well, they get in trouble. And now they have to probably do the work before they get in trouble. Or if they get in trouble, they have to do the work too. So that could be a problem. Now, I know when I was in the restaurant industry, when I first started out, and there were different people, and people weren't always fair in the restaurant industry. But one thing was, there was one night, and I think I was wrapping up, and I was a server, and there was a manager there, and we did everything we had to do, and they did what they need to do, and they would check your tables to make sure that everything was set up properly, that let's say the ketchup was refilled, the mustard was refilled, or the other condiments on the table were replenished, right? And so one night I had said to the manager, I said, you have it really easy here. All you have to do is just tell people to do the tables and you're done. And he said to me, John, he says, yes, it seems easy, but let me also explain to you the other problem that you may not be aware of. You see, if I don't catch an issue with a table, it doesn't come back to you, it comes back to me. And what that means is that when my head manager looks at it, because there's a closing manager, they're going to come to me and say, well, there's a problem with that table, so now you got to go fix it. Or generally what I do is before you leave, I try to check everything's correct. But let's say I miss something. If I miss something, well, then I now not only have to fix one table, I might have to fix 50, 60 tables. So you have to make sure that you know how to manage, and you have to make sure that you set an expectation that's clear, measurable, and something that can be done consistently all the time. Because if not, I'm the one that's going to be getting in trouble. I'm the one that could potentially lose the ability to manage. Now, management seems easy, but it's not. It requires you to know how to communicate with other people. That's what it's about. If you can't do that and you can't get the job done every single time, then you're going to be the one, or myself, me holding the plate with having to fix all these condiments that weren't done properly, right? And that might sound really simple, but it's not. And when I want to get to go at 15 or 20 minutes before, and then all of a sudden the senior manager comes over and says, you know what, table 2 is missing condiments, or table 2 is, and that might seem simple if it's one little thing, but imagine that every single table didn't do the proper thing. That would all fall back on me, right? And so that's why the managers might seem a little hard to you. They're not nasty, but they know that if they're not doing the job the way it needs to be done, it's going to fall back on their shoulders. So delegation incorporates a sense of responsibility to not only the person delegating and the delegatee, because what can happen is if things are not done right, it falls back on the onus of the person that's managing them. And remember, all those servers have gone home for the night. So you can't call them back. And the next morning you could say, hey, you forgot to do the whatever it is. Excuse me. And so you forgot to do whatever it is. And by saying that, it's important to know. And now you might say something like, well, yesterday you missed this and you missed that. And you could say that in passing. But you really can't get that upset because you should have caught that and made them fix it because you weren't paying attention. Maybe you were on your cell phone. Maybe you were just in a rush to get out of there and you thought that everybody always does a great job. But tonight, one or two of the servers missed up on 3 tables. So now 3 times 5, that's 15 tables that you have to fix. That's a big problem. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege, a pleasure, and honor to be with you early this morning before I turn in. And I want to encourage you, please, to like the channel, support it, encourage it, give a curious mark, and comment below. How are you finding delegation? There's a lot more in it than I think you realize. And if you don't embrace the fact that there's responsibilities both on the delegatee and the delegated side, then you're not really understanding what delegation is. I also want to tell you that when we think about delegation, it's not just personal. It could be business. It could be something else. But when you appreciate delegation and the delegatee appreciates it, the delegation, one who's getting delegated to appreciates it, it gives you a sense of respect. And I know when I did the restaurants and I was managing, and like, oh, John's always a hard whatever. I'm like, yeah, I am hard. But the reason I'm so hard is that I don't want to be here cleaning up 20, 40, 50 tables because you guys are too lazy to do your job. Please tag your friends, your colleagues, and your associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then look for my key phrase, help keep our content free. And below that, click on the PayPal link and make the choice to buy my team and I a cup of coffee. We'll be so grateful if those pennies and dollars will invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, and even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational, inspirational content to get you off your butt into action and achieving those dreams that you've always desired. Remember, everyone, before you can achieve anything, you need to believe, and then you'll be able to achieve. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a pleasure being with you tonight, and I'll be back tomorrow, which is actually later today, for our next episode, which will be episode 5. Have yourself a great rest of the morning, everyone, and I'll see you later tonight.